It does not matter what we think, but the truth is we have a huge problem with Islam in the UK, and it's about time our government woke up to it. Alright guys, let's get into it. The problem is though, when we do look at this material that I'm about to show you, and some of it is pretty horrendous to be fair, your family, when you talk about this, will call you many, many bad names. So what I suggest you do is you take out a subscription to our sponsor. I'll play this video for 1 minute in the middle. I'm not going to talk about it anymore, but Ground News gives you both sides. That's all I'm saying. Let's crack on. I'm not going to go through this article with you, but all I'm saying is you've got a former Conservative politician here, Paul Goodman, who was the MP for High Wycombe between 2001 and 2010, one of the most densely populated Muslim communities in the United Kingdom, and he is saying that there is a problem that the government needs to start thinking about. There is Wahhabism, there is the Muslim Brotherhood, there are sectarian divides within the Muslim community themselves, and I'm going to show you some films now that are going to really make you think. This is Muhammad Umar Khan. Now, there was a blue note in effect. The press were not allowed to report on this guy. This guy stabbed to death a young British man called Harvey Wilgoose, who was 15 years old, in February this year. Now, the Muhammad guy obviously has been sentenced to about 16 years in prison. Whether you think we have a problem or not, the truth remains that if that man had not been in the country, this young man here would still be alive. This is a film of the young man getting assaulted by his eventual killer, unfortunately. That guy, obviously the press covered this up, but he brought knives to school before, axes to school, and now he's on a 16-year prison sentence. And of course, the reason we allow it to go this far is because a lot of politicians, a lot of our government have this cowardice at the top there where they won't call out this kind of behaviour for what it is. Migration Watch in the UK says then that migrants that come into the UK will cost us £600,000. Every taxpayer will be in debt to that money if they live to the age of 82. And of course, what we see a lot of on our social media channels are Muslim MPs or prominent Muslims that push back saying, hang on a second, we're the victims here. And as it says here, this is a Muslim MP here saying politicians scapegoat Muslims by targeting political Islam, but never others. Why? Even when we Muslims participate in the machinery of democracy, and why are they even allowed to participate in that in this Christian land, I ask you? We are presented as a nefarious force to be curtailed and controlled. And a very clever young man here, Connor Tomlinson, who you should follow, by the way, a former Lotus Eater and a very good guy, says that will be because of all the gangs, terror attacks, sexual assaults and barbaric cultural practices like current cousin marriage, especially endorsed in the Quran and the Hadiths, the stories of the Prophet's life. Islam does not belong in Britain. It did not build Britain. This is very interesting, by the way. It is hostile to Christianity and it cannot reproduce our civilization. Islam is unwelcome here and politicians should be clear about this. And I'm exactly the same. You will hear me on many platforms saying that Islam has no place in the UK, no place in this Christian land. I've spoken about it many, many a times. And I've said, beware of riling up the Englishman, because we are not a tolerant nation. We are absolutely not. People say we are up to a point. We get to a point and then we go out and we destroy everything. And some people that are driving hard into the ethno-nationalist crowd are the younger generation, Gen Z, and I don't blame them because they're going to be left with this mess that their boomer aunties and uncles, grandparents, is it? That must be the one, have left them. So I fully appreciate this. They're doing some great material. Listen to this guy here.
I know jizya tax, that non-Muslims will have to pay a tax. Yep. I would say, do you agree with that? Like if someone doesn't want to follow the religion, they have to pay a tax?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, what's the issue? Join in? What's the issue with that? What's the issue with that?
What's the issue? I don't want to be a Muslim.
Let's answer the question.
Yeah, you don't have to be a Muslim. Just pay your 2% tax.
Well, but I don't want to pay a tax just because I'm not a Muslim.
So you stop in the UK, just stop paying your taxes and see what happens to you.
Yeah, it's not because I'm not Muslim, though. Everybody pays taxes here.
Yeah, and we as Muslims, we pay zakah. You know, zakah is charity. You as a Muslim, you don't pay that. So this is why you have to pay. And by the way, you pay taxes because you're under our protection, right? If the country was to go to war, right, you would not join the army. We would have to defend you. This is why you pay the jizya taxes. It's called a protection tax.
The more we listen to that bollocks, the more stupid we are going to get, okay? This is the problem, of course, with bringing in people that are having cousin marriages and inbreeding. The IQs tend to be very low, but that man is fundamentally wrong, and I'll tell you why right now, and I've spoken about it before. As an ex-military serviceman myself, there are about 650 Muslims in the armed forces. Out of about 150,000 total, there's 650 Muslims. There's actually about 250 Jews. So not many Jews either, but I'll tell you one thing right now. There's 250,000 Jews in the country, and there's 4 million Muslims that we know about in the UK. They make up 6.5% of the population. So proportionally, there are 5.5 times more Jews in the military per capita than there are Muslims. So when that young man talks about defending this country, Muslims have zero interest in defending this country. They have absolutely no interest in defending the UK whatsoever. That's why you mustn't listen to them when they talk about protecting this nation. And just because I'm a little bit riled up right now, we'll have a look at this Muslim man going around. He's spraying, honestly, I don't understand this. He's spraying homeless British homeless people. He's spraying them with deodorant. And he finds that funny. I have to blank out some words in this, some rude words. I do apologise.
Why are you coming over and spraying me? Why are you coming over? What's your name? I'll fucking do that. Put you in the bin. I'll put you in the fucking bin.
Sorry, my bad.
Go away. Go away. Go away, man. You sprayed me in my face.
Sorry, my bad.
The level of disrespect there being shown to British people, to me, is outstanding. Just horrendous. Right, let's have a look at something else then. Now, we know our women are scared to go out on the streets at night. A quick advert for Ground News, who sponsor this channel, luckily, because YouTube ain't giving me no money, fam. You know what I'm talking about. All the stories you'll find on the front page here that are current. However, you can search for stuff in the bar at the top. When you click on a story, then it will show you here, look, what's left-leaning, centre, or right-leaning. It's a right-leaning story. Let's click on it. And then straight away, it gives you a summary at the top there. All the stories here, down there. You can even expand it for more articles if you want at the bottom. On the right here, it shows that there's 34 articles. There's 5 left, 14 right, and then there's 5 centre. Below it then, the bias distribution shows that this is a right-leaning article. And you can see here, Fox News, Israel, all that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Here, factuality, expand that. You can see which ones are more factually correct than others, and so you can see who owns it as well. Where are your biases in this? Click on the article if you want. You'll go straight to that website then, and at the top you can see there's a bar that drops down as well, again showing where these biases are. You can then look at left-leaning articles and right-leaning articles and not get sidetracked by the mainstream media. 40% off. Thank me later.
Is anyone else scared to be British at the moment and is seriously concerned about the state of this country and where it's headed? Because I am pretty scared. I personally think it's absolutely terrifying how being proud to be British is now seen as being racist, and how the Union Jack is now seen as a symbol of being racist. And I think that's incredibly sad.
Yeah, not where I come from, mate. That flag's going to be up there. I've got flags in my garage as well. I've got flags everywhere. I'm a flag kind of guy. That's who guy I am. And the problem that we're going to have with Islam is it's a bit by bit. It's a small bite of the elephant every time until eventually it does consume the elephant, isn't it? It's a death by 1,000 cuts. Look, as I told you, Dan Burmawi here just released a book, actually, about Islam. It's quite interesting. As I told you many times, explained in his book, the same method used to invent Palestine to attack the Jews and mass jihad will be used in the West to take over. Very, very interesting, this, guys. I want you to keep your eyes open to it. Mehdi Hassan said today that 1/3 of the slaves who built America were Muslim. Fundamentally not true, of course. Someone else would eventually say that Muslims deserve reparations for America's wars against them, and it just snowballs from that. And because they take a bit more each time, eventually you start giving them things at the very beginning. It's like the BLM movement, isn't it? It's all that kind of stuff. It's like the Windrush. We built Britain. No, you didn't build Britain at all. You got on a boat, we came over, we paid you, and then you did some building. But you didn't build anything, mate. Not really. And this film here captures some audio of obviously a British man going to some Hindus who are celebrating Diwali at midnight. Fireworks at midnight in London. It's ridiculous. Another community that are not respecting the boundaries of this absolute Christian land.
No! Stop the fucking fireworks, bro! I've got kids, I've got a dog, yeah? It's fucking midnight! Shut up, innit?
I'll just turn the volume down on this. This is a public street. These are, I believe, Indians going down public streets in the UK in cars, firing these into the air. I do not understand. You think we just got a problem with Muslims? I'm telling you now, this is... Think about Albanians on Albanian Day and what happens in London. This is absolutely horrific. We need to clamp down on this, guys. And let's listen to Katie Lamb then, and she does swear on this, and I do apologise for that.
The men who preyed on them were predominantly Muslim, generally either from Pakistan or of Pakistani heritage. One of the victims from Dewsbury was told by her rapist, I quote, "We're here to fuck all the white girls and fuck the government." Will the Minister accept that, in many cases, these crimes were racially and religiously aggravated?
And Jess Phillips looking very worried there, and she should be, because a lot of those women that were abused but are now advisors in the Pakistani Muslim trials that are going on at the moment have left, of course, believing that the government is not going to give them a fair hearing. They're going to cover up the ethnicity of the perpetrators of that heinous crime. And this is a political candidate in Wales. I'm not even joking, mate.
Wearing it. You know, that is my jihad. And if I'm outspoken for it, then I could be part of this struggle against Islamophobia, because those who are attacking the niqab, they only attack it because it is the easiest thing to do.
I just don't want any of this in my country, mate. I don't want any of it. Right, let's listen to Alison Pearson briefly.
We are in the middle of an epidemic of moral cowardice, I'm afraid, in our country. We are appeasing some of the worst people because the police are afraid. And I have senior contacts in the police who tell me that their biggest fear is Muslims kicking off. So that mustn't be allowed to happen. And then their other fear is that a lot of us now have started refusing to go along with the multiculturalism has worked out absolutely brilliantly. And they are now afraid of people pointing that out.
I'm not going to play this in full, but what we're seeing now is a lot of Muslims telling other Muslims, we better be careful. I think they're onto us.
You know what, guys? So many Muslims have just had enough. We've had enough of men who live in their own bubbles, telling people they can't connect with or relate to how to live their lives. We've had enough of roadmen turned dawah bros who have no education and no Islamic knowledge, becoming mouthpieces and authorities in Islam.
Yeah, I'll decipher that for you guys whilst we end this video. He's basically saying that there are Muslims that want to live a peaceful life, but there are Islamists out there, people that are politicized by Islam, who are ruining it for the rest of us. Well, I'm telling you right now, it's too late. Islam will grow in the UK. It's at 6.5% at the moment. I've said it's got no place whatsoever in this Christian land. I will literally go against Islam to get it off this island. I have no interest in Islam being here. If you think I've been radicalized, you're absolutely right, because I've seen what happens when Islam comes into these Western countries. It's now going into America as well. You think they're tolerate it? Well, the problem is it comes in so insidious. Death by 1,000 cuts. Guys, listen, if you want to have the balanced argument with your family, then just look up that Ground News. It's 40% off link. It's a really good deal. Helps out the channel, as does you subscribing. I could talk about this all day, and I will talk about it all day with you, but we need to do other content apart from talking about something as nonsensical as Islam, however important that might be. Guys, I really appreciate your time. Tim Davies, Fast Ship Performance.